York Police Department has been hit very hard by this pandemic. More than 5,000 NYPD members have tested positive, and at least 38 officers have died. John Miller, the department's Deputy Commissioner of Intelligence and Counterterrorism, was one of those hospitalized with the coronavirus. Miller, we should let you know, is a former senior correspondent for this very broadcast. So first on CBS This Morning, he joins us from NYPD headquarters, where he's back on the job. John Miller, let me just say this. You are a sight for sore eyes, and I speak for CBS News, which I have no authority to do, by the way, to say you are beloved in the building, and we are so glad you're okay. I can't stress how much I'm so delighted to see you this morning. So everybody has a different experience with coronavirus. Briefly tell us, what was yours? What happened? Because we all heard it got very serious for you.
Well, I'm one of those don't go to the doctor, don't get help, whatever it is, it'll go away by itself, guys. And I was tangling with the very wrong disease. But Emily, my wife, kind of told on me. I think it was 10 o'clock, on a weeknight, and she called the doctor at home and said, temperature's going up to 103, oxygen levels are going down, and, I'm worried. And he got me on the phone, and he said, I'm calling an ambulance, and you're going to the hospital. And I said, I am not going to the hospital in an ambulance. I said, I got a police car outside. I can take myself to the hospital. And he said, well, I'm calling an ambulance. And I said, well, I'm going to be right there, so don't bother. So I surrendered to Lenox Hill Hospital. And, I got to say, I'm glad I did, because within a couple of days, I realized without all the oxygen that I was on 24/7, I wasn't going to be at the oxygen levels, the heart rate, the ability to breathe, and the team there. My doctor, Stuart Orsher, the nurses there, Marissa, Madeline, Caitlin, Sayan Isaac, amazing, Gail. Because remember, they're in crisis
that's what
too.
We keep hearing.
We
hear all the time.
The professionalism was amazing, and the kindness too. And the second part is optional. They have to be professional, but they were incredible there.
Yeah, we can't thank them enough. The more stories you hear, the more you hear how they always go above and beyond the call of duty. We've got pictures of you, John, in the hospital, including one that I think is a funny shot. It looks like you on a TV screen where they're reporting about you, and you're sitting there in the hospital bed. That had to be a little disconcerting.
Yeah, so Dr. Mina had just left. He said, you're doing fine. There was a lady in there taking blood from me, and she looked up at the screen and looked down, and I said, yeah, that's me. And she said, that's you? And I said, it says I'm in serious condition. She said, you're fine. Stop it. It was a little bit of an out-of-body experience.
Yeah. Listen, thousands of officers are now returning to work after being diagnosed with COVID. What's being done to protect the force?
Well, this has been, a daily battle to stay ahead of that curve. The NYPD was hit hard with this because, when nothing else works, people call the police, and that's the part that has to work. So, the department has been going 24/7, but when you have 5,000 people out sick who are going out at a rate of 300 a day. Thank God that's down to about 1,800 now. Our normal sick rate on an average day without a pandemic is 2.73%. We were approaching much bigger percentages than we'd ever seen before. So how do you buy 1 million masks, 1 million sets of gloves? How do you buy them right now? Yesterday, that involved the Deputy Commissioner for Management and Budget, the City Controller, the Administrative Services for the city. But they got that together. If you go to a police station or police headquarters now, it doesn't matter if you're a police officer, the commanding officer, the deputy commissioner, or a prisoner in handcuffs. You're being scanned for your temperature before you go in. If the temperature is high or you answer the questions about contacts you've had, that goes into a higher level of screening. It's about the social distancing, the protective equipment, and making sure that you catch these things every way you can, so you can get people help.
We've all gotten the orders now. We just have to follow them. But, John, we have to talk about a story on the NYPD is making national news, and not in a good way. I know you've seen it. The optics are not good. A man was arrested in connection come out
All right,
having your
John.
the guy's
John.
Yeah,
family.
Anthony?
What can you tell
Yeah,
us
John,
about
we're
that?
gonna go. We're having. Are we all right now?
Oh, he's frozen?
We were having trouble with Gail's shot.
Yeah,
John?
We were having trouble.
okay, so I got Gail's audio
Gail,
back.
go ahead. Sorry, we were having.
Okay, John. Go ahead, John.
So, yeah. Well, a couple of things. One, anybody who tells you that's not a disturbing videotape hasn't seen the videotape. Two, as you learn when you go into these investigations, the videotape tends to tell the end of the event. It doesn't always depict the beginning of the event. So, that officer is now on modified assignment. That means he's operating without a badge, without a gun, on desk duty, pending the investigation. We'll look into every aspect of this. What do the witnesses say? Are there other videos? What does the officer say? What do his partners say? Preliminarily, what it says is that the individual he has contact with was interfering with the arrest and then took a fighting stance. Of course, you take that version, you take the version on the video, you take what all the witnesses say, and that's what makes up an investigation. So we're very early in that process, but we have a good history of investigating those things and taking action where appropriate. We're just at the very beginning.
Well, okay. It's being reported he's an 8-year veteran, that he's been sued, this officer, 7 times over the last 6 years. So a lot of people have a lot of questions about the case. We'll be following it. But of course, I just want to end with this, John Miller. I'm glad you're healthy.
Oh, thanks, Gail. I appreciate it. And Gail, thanks for the messages from everybody at CBS when I was in the hospital. Thanks for your message. Thanks for sending that video for my daughter's birthday, because, when you're a 17-year-old, Kaya couldn't have a birthday party, but we got 33 guests via video, and you were one of them. So I appreciate all that personally.
Well, we're glad. We're glad Kaya had a great birthday. We're glad someone said you have coronavirus hair, who shall remain nameless, John Tower. But we're just glad that you are safe and back on the job. Thank you.